let's talk about the Victoria area. Those of us that live here, we are blessed and fortunate to live in one of the most beautiful places in the country. We know everything about the mild weather and all of those things, and we talk about that in another video. But one of the unique things about Victoria is there's all these municipalities and areas in Victoria that if you're outside of the area, you think of it as Victoria. But they have separate municipal governments, they have separate police forces and fire departments, but we just have a Victoria address at the end of the address. So we want to break down some of those so you understand what the different areas are. And of course there's Victoria, we get that. That's the main, when we say Victoria, we mean kind of the downtown and the core of Victoria. And really the areas that make up what we consider Victoria, let's talk about some of those. Of course, we know the core, and that's right at downtown and the area around there. But if we were just to go down from there, we come to James Bay. There's some beautiful homes in the James Bay area. It's a great residential area with great parks and beautiful area to have your leisure time, and there's great shops and everything else. And so the James Bay area is part of that Victoria area. And then also we have the Oak Bay area. We call that the Tweed Curtain. But Oak Bay is really, it's one of the most affluent neighborhoods or communities in the greater Victoria area. There's lots of great shops there, lots of great amenities. Probably one of the big things about Oak Bay to keep in mind is, again, the price point goes up considerably when you're looking for a home in the Oak Bay area. And the homes are going to get older, so maybe they need a little bit more work or updating or things like that. But a beautiful community, great shops and delis, really some really cool places to go and spend time. It's a lot of fun walking up and down the streets in Oak Bay, down Oak Bay Ave. So that is part of that Victoria core. Another community in the Victoria area is Esquimalt. And Esquimalt, it's an older neighborhood as well, or community as well. And so there's going to be some great older homes in that area. Also in Esquimalt is the military base. And so, we find in Esquimalt there's some more moderate prices. However, again, it depends on the market. But you're going to see, some more homes with maybe suites. You're less likely to suites. We talked about Oak Bay. You're less likely to see suites in Oak Bay homes, but certainly you're going to see that in the Esquimalt area. There's lots of great new amenities and projects being built right now in the Esquimalt area. So it's a growing community. It's there's good amenities there as well. So, really you'll find out in the greater Victoria area, all the communities are really great communities. They all have their different idiosyncrasies and things that you'll like about one versus about another. And so Esquimalt is another one of those communities that make up the Victoria core. Another area that makes up Victoria is View Royal. Now, View Royal is interesting in that it's also just over into what we call the West Shore and the West Shore communities, which we'll talk about later. But View Royal is a great residential neighborhood. The gorge runs right, the gorge waterway runs right through part of it, and so it's beautiful water, and there's place for kayaking, and there's lots of parks, and of course it's mostly a residential area. So you're going to find some nice homes in the area. You're going to find some good amenities. There's shopping. There's groceries and those things as well. And you're going to find some places that you can have good walking trails and all of those things as well. So that basically is what we talk about when we talk about Victoria, when we that live here talk about Victoria. So we mentioned the West Shore. Let's talk about what the Western communities are and what the West Shore is. So we talked about View Royal, and it's kind of right on the bridge between the two, but it's not really considered to be in the West Shore. So when we talk about the West Shore communities, there's Colwood, Langford, there's the Highlands, Metchosin, and Souk. So let's break those down so we can kind of put those together just for your own information, so you know what areas we're talking about. Because I know, when you're new to the community, or you're just deciding whether you want to come here or where you want to go, these names mean nothing to you. So you'll be able to see if you pull them up on maps, the different areas. So Colwood is kind of the first of the western communities as we go out to the West Shore. Great area. There's the Juan de Fuca Rec Center, so great place for exercising and swimming and all of those things. The library's out there, and I know about the library. My daughter loves to read, so we are out there usually at least once every couple of weeks, if not more often. And in Colwood also, you have the Esquimalt Lagoon, beautiful area with the ocean, and of course Royal Roads University is there with the Hatley Castle, and it's just beautiful. And of course, there's lots of great homes in the Colwood area. It's mostly residential, so lots of homes. There's going to be some condos, some townhouses, things like that. So lots of options in the Colwood area. So now as we go past Colwood, we come to Langford. Langford is one of the fastest growing communities actually in Canada. And they are exploding in growth, in both the commercial end of it and also in the residential side of things. They're growing. There's higher end, stuff in Langford, like on Bear Mountain. There's more kind of entry level and middle of the road things in the Langford area as well, whether it's a brand new build or there's, resale older builds. Lots of amenities in the Langford area. So you've got Superstore, Costco, Walmart, all the big, box stores for shopping and things like that. And lots of amenities for your kids and family. It's a real family, kid-friendly area with parks and the rec centers, the rink that's out there, and of course the women's rugby team, national rugby team, trains out of Langford as well. So lots of those things are available in Langford. We see a lot of people coming out to Victoria in Langford because of the price point and because of all the amenities that are offered. Now, right adjacent to Langford is Highlands, and Highlands is beautiful, but it's all rural. So you're talking about acreages and land, and kind of driving out into the beautiful countryside, and so that's primarily what you're going to get from the Highlands. On the other side of Langford from the Highlands is Metchosin. And Metchosin is also a rural community. It's a beautiful agricultural area. There are bylaws in Metchosin that all the lots have to be a certain size so that they maintain that rural agricultural feel. So Metchosin is a beautiful area that's, for some people, they love it out there. And so those are just to help you understand what are your options when you see these names. What are the different areas? What do they look like? And then a little further out from all of those is Souk. Now, Souk is probably a 20 to 30 minute drive from Langford. It's a beautiful coastal village town. It's right on the Souk Harbor, and so you're kind of secluded a little bit. There's amenities and everything there. There's lots of new construction going on and new homes, and there's older homes in there as well. And the price point, obviously, as you move out a little bit from the core, is a little bit better. The trade-off is there's a drive involved, and some people are okay with that drive, some people not so much. So you would have to make that decision. I tell my clients when they come, and they've never been here, and we're looking at different areas and so forth, I will tell my clients, you know what, take a drive out to Souk. Here's how you get there, and just see what you think, and tell me if you can live with this drive. And I had one client that when we looked at it on paper, they liked it and thought it was good, but they did, what I said is go and have a look and drive in these few different places, and they went and did the drive, and then they said, no, we can't do that. There's no way, because they didn't want they just didn't want the traffic or the length of the drive. So, but Souk is a great option as well out on the West Shore. And as we go past the West Shore and you go up the Malahat, there's beautiful communities, Mill Bay, Shawnigan Lake, and then as we go out, there's Duncan, there's Maple Bay, there's Cowichan. All of those are beautiful areas, and the price point gets a little bit better as you go. We're not going to talk so much about all of those because we want to come back to talk about the peninsula here in the Victoria area. But the one thing I would say when you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about, being up there and it's beautiful and wonderful, is again, there's a drive because you're a little bit out of town. And if you're going to see snow in Victoria, and we had snow this year, so, that's great. It's funny, my daughter she's 11 right now. And when she was 2, we lived in Alberta. And so she remembers, that's all she remembers of snow is as a 2-year-old, us taking her in a sled and going down and tobogganing and things like that. And I laughingly say, you want the white Christmas in the snow because you have no concept of it snowing in November and not being gone until, potentially till May some years in Edmonton. And so we have a good laugh about it. But even in up on the Malahat, you're going to see snow pretty well it's an elevation thing. So you're going to see snow up there pretty well every year. And so that's something to keep in mind also when you talk about the drive. I know some people, for one reason or other, they tend to get a little bit white-knuckled when it comes to driving in any kind of inclement weather. So just be aware of that as well. Let's talk about the peninsula. That's the other side. So we talked about the West Shore already, and the peninsula is on the other side. And so breaking down the communities in the peninsula, and if you really dig down, there'll be some that we didn't cover here, but I'm just giving you the broad brush strokes so you have an idea of what you're looking at when you go out that way. So let's start with North Saanich. North Saanich is on the tip of the peninsula, and it's really cool because North Saanich has water on 3 sides. So, beautiful views, mountain views, ocean views, such a great community, but it is a rural community or a rural area for the most part. And so be aware of that if that's what you're thinking about. Things to think about also, that to put it in perspective so you understand, the ferry is out in North Saanich. The airport is out in North Saanich, and really Sydney, the town of Sydney, is also out in North Saanich. So that whole area is a beautiful area. For some people, it's a little too far. For some people, it's a little too rural, depending on where they are out there. But again, these are things that we will work out and look at when you start deciding what is the best fit for you and your family. And a big part of that is we just need to get out and put our boots on the ground. I tell my clients, perspective sometimes, it just takes some time of getting out to look at some of these properties and these areas and these communities and make a decision about what we think works best. And I had clients that loved North Saanich, but they said, I just can't do that drive to where I need to go, which is in Victoria. I have other clients that love North Saanich and said, doesn't matter to me, I will live with the drive. And they have a beautiful home on the ocean with a dock, spectacular. So let's come back down on the peninsula from North Saanich. And where do we go from there? We come to Central Saanich. Beautiful agricultural area, lots of farms are in that area. I know my daughter used to, they don't anymore in her school, but they used to go every year down for all the pumpkins and everything, and for going down to the farm, and they pick pumpkins and look at all the pumpkins and things like that. A lot of fun. So a lot of those things, that kind of rural agricultural area is in Central Saanich. And in Central Saanich, the two main kind of communities that are there are Saanich and Brentwood Bay. And so beautiful communities. They're smaller communities, obviously, but great communities to live in. So you have some houses and things like that in the home proper, but also moving out from there, you're going to have more of the acreages and the larger pieces of land that you can work with as well. So a great area if you want something that's away from the hustle and bustle of life, but not so far away. Maybe not quite as far as North Saanich, but you still want to be able to get to everything, but not be so close that you're feeling enclosed. Central Saanich might be a great option for you in that case. Let's talk about Saanich. That's the last of the communities that we're talking about on the peninsula. And Saanich is the largest of the municipalities in the greater Victoria area. And it's a great mix of residential, urban, and also more the rural and the suburban feel as well. Saanich also includes the University of Victoria. And again, as I said, a great mix of, as far as the whole community, a great mix of both the kind of residential, urban versus the agricultural and the rural feel as well, and all sorts of amenities in the area. Obviously, being the biggest of the municipalities, they will have all the amenities and everything as well. But really what we start to see when we talk about these things in the Greater Victoria area is that we are a very diverse community and we offer something for everybody. And really it's a matter of you deciding what's the fit for you and your family. What makes the most sense for you? Are you looking for just a condo and easy access to the, to business and things to do? That might be the Victoria Core. Are you looking for just to get away and be more rustic and maybe enjoy the peace and quiet and serenity? Maybe someplace in North Saanich, or maybe something in Metchosin or the Highlands is more your style in that case. You have a growing family and you want to be around someplace with lots of amenities for your family and your kids. Well, maybe there's something in the West Shore in Langford that's a better fit for you in that case. So we want to help you find where you fit. What's the niche that makes sense for you in the Greater Victoria area? And so we're here to help you with that process. Feel free to reach out to us by email or call us, and we're happy to talk to you about the options that are out here and spend time with you. When you contact us, we're not just going to be like, let's just get this over with. We want to genuinely serve you and help you and get to the facts. What's it going to be that's going to make it right for you in terms of your new home? So thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Encourage you to watch the other videos that we have about the market and the area and so forth. And any questions that you have, please reach out to us. We're happy to help, and we look forward to helping you accomplish your real estate dreams in the Greater Victoria area.